Today I'm going to teach you how to Fakie Bigspin. Fakie Bigspin is one of the basic beginner level tricks when it comes to skating. Having the board spin under you while you're rotating as well can be kind of scary at first. So I'm here to tell you how to control the board a bit easier, allowing you to stay on top of it and fully commit. Before Fakie Bigspin, you'll only need to know how to Fakie revert, but knowing how to Fakie shove will also be pretty helpful. I'd say there are only 3 really simple steps for this trick. First being the entrance to the trick, second being the scoop and rotation of your body, and the third being the landing. For Fakie Bigspin, your feet should be positioned like this, the back foot on the tail of the board, and the front foot sitting on the bolts and slightly on an angle. The difficulty of this trick mainly comes from learning how to rotate while keeping the board under you. Knowing how to Fakie revert will get you comfortable turning your body, since it's basically just a Fakie Bigspin but without the spin. Okay, so now we can start with adding the spin. You'll need to wind up your shoulders as you come in for the trick, just like a Fakie revert, but this time try scooping your foot after you've already begun to turn the board. You'll want to make sure your board is already a portion of the way around before you add the scoop. This will help so you and the board don't have to rotate the whole way around in the air, and it'll really make things a lot easier for landing. Keeping the board under you while you turn is the most important part. To do this, you'll sort of want to use your front foot as a guide for the board. Your back foot will scoop, your front foot will be a guide for where you'll end up catching the board, and your upper body will just be there to keep the spin momentum going. You can see here that because my shoulders have so much momentum already, even jumping straight up in the air will get my legs to follow the upper half of my body. So just do a Fakie revert but add a scoop once you're already part of the way around. Since you're going Fakie, the board and your body will already have quite a bit of momentum going in that direction, so you don't really need to scoop with a lot of power. Once you're in the air, you kinda just gotta wait for the board to do its thing, finishing off the spin. Then you can put your feet back onto the board. Also, I like to land with my weight towards my back foot. That way if I can't make the full rotation, with my weight kinda in the manual position, I can correct the board a little bit before my front wheels touch the floor. The only way you can practice committing to this trick is beginning with small rotations, then slowly adding more spin and rotation to it. Doing this, you will gradually get more comfortable with turning and eventually you'll get the full turn. Remember to experiment with how much power you use to spin the board. Try and find an equal balance so it's not too much or too little of a spin. And if you are still a little bit nervous about committing, remember you can always practice landing one foot on the board first until it gets comfortable. Some common mistakes I make is just my weight distribution or not getting the right amount of spin. When my weight is off, I find myself getting wheel by when I land or sometimes just slipping out. As for the spin, the reason I sometimes find that I can't land is because my front foot just falls short of the board. I can fix this by making sure my body gets enough rotation to make it the whole way around. Just think of it like a revert with a shove in there. I'd say it's more like a regular shove than a 360 shove. Since your body is turning, you got that extra force behind it, so you don't need to use as much power as a 360 shove. In total, you're turning 180 degrees, but you're really only in the air for about 90 degrees. The rest of the turn is made from turning before you scoop. And the last thing I want to say is to wind up your shoulders to keep that spin going. If your shoulders don't make it the whole way around, then the rest of your body won't either. If you're still having problems, leave a comment down below with what you're having trouble with, and I'll reply with some extra advice on what I think might help. I just hope there were some useful tips in this video, and good luck practicing.